Hello, world, and welcome to Post Credits Commentary, a podcast where we make commentary post credits.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Allison.
Join us weekly as we give you our unfiltered opinions and hottest takes on recently watched films.
And spoiler alert, there will be spoilers.
Grab your popcorn, silence your phones, and let's roll the tape. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Post Credits Commentary. Thanks for bearing with us through my vacation last week. Hope you all enjoyed the little different episode that we posted. But this week, we are back with the next MCU movie, the Fantastic Four. Brief synopsis of the Fantastic Four. On an alternate Earth, a group of superheroes, a family of superheroes, go up in space. They get in an accident. They come back with superpowers. Reed Richards is the smartest man alive and can stretch his body. Sue Storm can make herself invisible. Johnny Storm can, aka the Human Torch, can engulf his body in flames. And Ben Grimm, aka the Thing, turns into a strong rock creature thing. But in this version of the story, they have to save their Earth from a gigantic celestial threat known as Galactus. And he wants something from them to save their world, but they refuse to give it to them. Their incoming child. As in Reed's and Sue's incoming child, to clarify. So then they must rally together and save their world without giving up the next part of their family. How was that? Yeah, darn right. So we'll jump into our initial thoughts of Fantastic Four. Allison, what did you think of this version of the Fantastic Four?
I had seen the other Fantastic Four movies when they came out, but not really enough that I remember much from them. Fantastic Four wasn't a big group for me when I was younger. So I don't know a ton about them. I don't know all the lore. But I loved this movie and am now obsessed with them. The movie visually was stunning. Sound was stunning. Characters I thought were pretty great. Yeah. Not a whole lot bad to say.
I agree. Pretty much with everything you said. I also don't read a lot of Fantastic Four comics. I think the most I've known of them is their part in the Secret Wars crossover, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the episode. And then the other Fantastic Four movies, which I don't think are very good. So comparing them to this, it's very night and day. But I also think that this movie on its own stands as just being a really solid movie. Like you said, the visuals, the vibes, the sound. Can't believe you didn't mention the score. Michael Giacchino knocks this out of the ballpark. The villain, the characters, the writing. I think it just works on so many levels. I have my complaints about it, which obviously we'll get into, but I think it works really well. And yeah, I just think the MCU has made 2 straight pretty darn good movies. That's crazy.
Yeah, need the public to catch on.
So for those of you who have been listening to us from the beginning, we are going to try something a little bit different with our plot breakdown this time. We're going to try to condense it a little bit so that we can kind of jump into uh, more stuff later. So we're going to give this a try and see how it goes. Leave us feedback down below how you guys feel about this new format. So let's jump into our condensed plot breakdown.
So the movie opens and it's kind of just establishing who the Fantastic Four are. It actually has like a little montage in the beginning of like pretty much how they became to be Fantastic Four. They're astronauts, went up to space, got hit with some space rays, came back, they have superpowers.
I really like this opening.
I think it's a good montage. Um, and then it's also kind of just introducing us to like the Earth that they live on, because it is not the sacred timeline Earth from all the other Marvel movies.
It's Earth 828.
828. And so it's kind of establishing like who the Fantastic Four are to the people of this Earth and like things like that.
It also very quickly establishes that Sue Storm is pregnant. Like,
Yes.
it's not really a mystery for the movie, which makes sense because the trailers didn't really seem to make it much of a mystery. Like, we all knew coming in she would be pregnant, but they jumped right into it, which kind of helps reveal a different side of Reed Richards, which I think is a good take on the character. Yeah, so they're trying to get used to their family life, their new upcoming life as parents and uncles for Johnny and Ben, but they're interrupted by the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Gardner here.
Yeah, she comes to herald.
Yeah, herald their doom. She's like, y'all are gonna die because Galactus is gonna eat you. Yeah, to which the Fantastic Four is like, nah. So they go back up into space.
Thinking that they can go and like talk to this Galactus guy.
Try to bargain with him. And this is where we meet Galactus for the first time. It's a very cool take on the character, in my opinion. In the comics, of course, he just eats planets, but here he's in a giant ship that kind of breaks down the planets, and then they like go into him via lava or something. It kind of felt like tubes. So that was a pretty good take on the character.
As somebody who like knows nothing about Galactus, I knew he was going to be this giant being, like huge, but like I didn't really know like what his motivation is or like why or anything like that, which I feel like the movie doesn't like fully go into. It just touches it a little bit, but I think what they did show us was enough.
My understanding of Galactus as a character in the comics is just he just eats planets, like he just has that hunger.
Yeah, but they were hinting at things like at one point he said he used to be their size. So I'm like, well, all right, where'd you come from?
It's kind of hinted at in the comics as well that it's something that's passed through generations. But he ultimately wants their child to take his place.
Yes, because it seems like he's tired of eating planets.
Yeah. Just wants to live life.
And so, yeah, he is able to detect that the baby inside of Sue is like gonna be this super human, able to do anything baby. And he's like, that baby would be able to be me. So.
But obviously, the Fantastic Four says no, thank you. and they kind of get in a skirmish with the Silver Surfer as they try to escape the planet, which they do, successfully do. However, Galactus does force Sue into labor, so while they're running from the Silver Surfer, Sue is also giving birth to
In a
little
spaceship.
in a spaceship around a black hole.
In 0G.
Yeah, it was awesome. um,
So they managed to get away from the Silver Surfer, and they head back to their Earth.
and immediately upon arriving, they're ambushed by reporters who want to know how they saved their world because no one is used to the Fantastic Four failing. They're used to them winning all the time. And that's when they tell them that they didn't yet.
Yep. And that's when they tell them why they didn't. Because they're not going to give up their child.
And everyone hates that.
Yep.
So then everyone pretty much immediately turns on the Fantastic Four. And Reed tries to figure out how to solve this problem, this impending doom. And he comes up with this idea to teleport Earth away from Galactus's path, basically, to safety. And this is kind of where I thought we might have some multiversal shenanigan timeline stuff going on. But before we get to do that, by the way, the entire world comes together to help solve this problem, which is funny because I just cannot ever see that happening in our world today. But moving on quickly.
I mean, not moving on. I actually really liked that part of the movie. Just the inspiring feeling of everybody coming together, which I was pretty young at the time, but people say that's kind of how it was after 9/11. So
Maybe it could happen. I don't know.
anyways.
But their idea is kind of halted by Silver Surfer, who blows up all the teleporters.
Except for one.
Except for one. The one in
New York.
New York. Because Johnny Storm kind of gets inside her head a little bit and convinces her that she's not really doing the best thing. And we get a little bit of Silver Surfer backstory. For those who haven't seen it, it's not the guy Silver Surfer from the other movies and the well-known one. It's the female surfer. It's the woman Silver Surfer, Shala Ball. And we get her backstory. And she basically agrees to go with Galactus to save her planet.
Yeah, she's basically, because on her planet she was like super smart and stuff. So like she basically is going to become his scout for finding planets for him to eat.
And Johnny Storm is trying to get through to her that, yeah, she saved her planets, but she's helping all these other planets get destroyed. So, that's not great. And she has breakdown and flies away.
Yep, she flies away for a hot minute.
Sure does. And then Galactus finally arrives. They evacuate the city.
Well, once all their towers went down, they had to come up with Plan B, which is that instead of teleporting the Earth to a new place, they're just going to teleport Galactus using the last tower.
So then they evacuate the city to the underground area that I can't remember the name of.
I don't know, the Mole Man.
Yeah, where Mole Man presides. And they lure Galactus in using Franklin as the lure. They kind of quickly blind him and then switch out Franklin's baby carriage for another baby carriage. And then they almost have him, but Galactus realizes that he's been duped at the last possible moment. So then the plan goes awry, and we have their final confrontation with him trying just destroying the city to get to Franklin and the Fantastic Four not doing. They're not being very effective against him.
Nope, not really.
uh,
But then Sue, that maternal instinct to not let anything happen to her child, she really puts literally all of her life force into stopping Galactus from reaching Franklin.
mm-hmm.
And it helps, it works, but to the extent of her dying.
Yes. Another thing just worth mentioning is while he gets thrown into the wormhole, he does pop back out momentarily, and Johnny Storm goes for the sacrifice play. However, he's stopped by Shah LaBeoul, Silver Surfer, who sacrifices herself in his stead to push Galactus into the wormhole, black hole thing. And then it closes, and then Sue dies. Until she doesn't.
Till she doesn't.
Because Franklin crawls on her.
And this teeny tiny, few months old baby saves her life, brings her back.
Indeed.
Wow.
So, that's pretty much the plot. With most of the twists, I don't think we left a twist out, really.
No, I think that's the general plot.
Yeah, so we got the general plot down, and now we're going to just go into the things we liked, the things we didn't like, the things we thought were okay, and this will be the bulk of the conversation instead of going through the entire plot. Yeah, so with that said, I want to start with the casting.
All right.
Because I think the MCU nailed the casting pretty much all over the place here. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, amazing.
Is fantastic Reed Richards.
I loved him as Reed Richards. I am now a huge Reed Richards fan because of him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think the writing does a lot of the work here as well.
That's true.
But the way Pedro plays, the way he's written, if that makes sense, I think is so solid. Like, I was just watching him and I was like, that's Reed. And it's not that other versions are not Reed. They're Reed in their own way. But I do think that this is the best. In my opinion, it's the best Reed based on what I've seen.
Yeah, I like that you can feel his struggle because he's a super smart scientist, and it's always his goal to solve everything, fix everything, and then he's given this dilemma where the logical way to solve this would be at a huge detriment to him and his family. Mm-hmm. So to see him struggle with that. And also, I've done a little bit of background, but in some of the comics, he can have more of a sinister side. Mm-hmm. And I think they played into that a little bit here, and but not fully, right? But him admitting that it's easy for him to think that way, that he tries not to.
Mm-hmm. The conversation that he has with Sue after Sue realizes that he's thinking the best way, the best solution is to give up Franklin, is honestly one of the highlights of the movie for me. I think it's so well acted. Between the two, we'll get to Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. But just everything he said, where it's my job to think of the things that could happen and prevent them from happening. It just feels Reed Richards to me. It's crazy. His brain literally cannot shut off. He always has to think of these things. And he knows that's a problem because we go to the scene where he tells Franklin, he's like, there is something wrong with me, and I don't want you to be like me.
Yeah.
which is kind of sad. But
Yeah, I feel like that's every parent, though, if you think about it.
in a way, yeah.
But yes, Pedro Pascal, 5 stars.
And then, of course, Vanessa Kirby plays Sue Storm, Reed Richards' better half.
Honestly, also 5 stars.
She was also a slam dunk casting here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like not like she wasn't the center of the movie, but like I feel like was focused on a little more, obviously with Franklin coming from her, but she was phenomenal.
I think she's the emotional. I mean, she's like the emotional heart of the movie, like for sure. I think Matt Shackman, the director, said as much during interviews and stuff like that. And again, I just think they nailed. Like, she also has so many standout moments. Obviously, the birth scene is just such a badass moment for her, and the speech she gives to everyone to kind of rally them back to their side of things, where she
Yeah.
goes out and she's like, yeah, I now have a child. But doesn't change the fact that we still view all of you as our family as well,
Yeah.
and we're going to do whatever we can to protect our whole family, you guys and like my child.
Yeah, that was great. She seemed so like I don't want to say fearless, but like she walked out there holding Franklin and there's this angry mob and I was like, wow, you feel real sure of yourself and confident. And that comes across. And I also think like each person of the Fantastic Four like has their role as like just that family role. Yeah.
The other thing worth pointing out that I just love is that it's the only person. Sue is the only person from the Fantastic Four that Mole Man trusts
Oh.
and enjoys,
Uh-huh.
because I think she's more of the emotional anchor of the team, whereas Reed is the more logical person, which isn't always the case. We'll see how they explore it, but Reed and Doom's relationship is something that is unlike any other relationship in the comics, especially for Marvel. And it does kind of have to do with, it's more of an emotional side of Reed, more so than a logical side. But I just feel like for everything else, Reed is just so logic driven and Sue is more emotional driven.
Opposites attract.
Yeah. And it's Subterraria, by the way, the location that the Mole Man rolls over. It just popped in my head.
Okay.
So the two main characters, I would say, phenomenal. We'll jump into the third main character.
Yeah.
I guess the third most important character in the movie, Johnny Storm, played by Joseph Quinn. He received some criticism when he was first kind of. This whole cast did. It was a time. I feel like people were really interested to see his version of the character, especially when they came out and said that he wouldn't exactly be the Johnny Storm that a lot of people are aware of. They weren't going to go the womanizer route.
Yeah, they didn't, but like they still kind of did. Like
I was going to go there.
okay.
Yeah.
He obviously was still like very much about the ladies.
Yes.
And was obsessed with Silver Surfer.
Yeah, like obsessed. So, what did you think of this version of the character and Joseph Quinn as him?
As like I said before, I don't really remember much from the previous movies. So I had no issue with him. I thought he was great. He's obviously like the younger bachelor, like just wants to have fun, feels like people don't take him seriously type of guy. I liked him. I thought he was good. As somebody that doesn't know the lore, I do have some questions though. Um, is all of his clothing flame resistant?
Yes.
Okay. Because he'd just be like setting himself on fire, then he stops and he's still got clothes on.
Yeah, I do believe that, yes. I think Reed made it specifically for him,
Okay.
if I recall correctly. But yeah, I agree. I think, again, his relationship with Silver Surfer is a key part of this movie, and it doesn't work. We'll get there, but it doesn't work if Silver Surfer isn't the woman,
Yeah.
isn't Shala Ball. But I really liked him. Like, I like that take of the character. He's not my favorite. I think Chris Evans still squeaks him out for me. But he's great. There was, what was the scene? The scene where he's talking to Reed about the spacesuits. I felt like that was weirdly acted on his part. I was confused with the acting choice there.
Um, sorry. Just got denied. Yeah, no. Since you mentioned the spacesuits, I do want to say really quickly, I love space movies, so I think that might be another reason why I like this movie so much. I can't remember where I was going with that. I'll come back to it.
You like space movies? So.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like I wanted to go into more, but it would take us away from where we are, so we'll go back to it.
Okay.
But yes, Johnny, and he obviously had a big role in like connecting with Silver Surfer. They, Reed is always monitoring space and the Earth and everything, and so they get these like recordings that they hear over the space web or whatever, of this like foreign language.
The space web.
And it's this foreign language that they can't decipher. But Johnny, the first time we see Silver Surfer, he tries to follow her up as far as he can into like the stratosphere, and she says the same words to him. And so then like, nobody takes him serious. But he this whole time is like working so hard to decipher this language. And once he does decipher it, then he is able to confront Silver Surfer about it and her past and everything.
Yep. Yeah, his role was pretty important too. Like, I think those three have their obvious roles in the movie. And then we get to
The Thing.
Ben Grimm, who I feel like had to have some of his scenes cut. He's just not in the movie a ton. Played by Eben Moss Barach.
I don't know if it's Eben or Eben, but yes.
Who I like the casting again. Like, it's mostly a voice. We see him as Ben Grimm maybe twice in the whole movie.
I love this casting. I love that actor. For those of you listening, he is in The Bear. And I think he just does a great job as the Thing. I know that the actor was nervous about being the Thing and having to like act basically as like a giant green screen all the time. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to come across well, and that he actually got some tips from Mark Ruffalo, who has to do the same thing for the Hawk. So that was interesting. But I think he did a great job. We get a little bit into his, not really a backstory, but like some personality stuff, you know. He's got his eye on a lady around town. He seems very like traditional, almost like Italian New Yorker, likes to hang around the neighborhood, pick up cars for the kids.
His whole thing in the comics, my understanding of the character is that he takes a lot of pride in what he looked like, which is why, like, when he's always out, he's like wearing that trench coat and the hat. Like, he's always trying to keep himself more incognito because he is self-conscious about what he looks like now. And they quickly gloss over it, but there is that moment where he's watching the old clips where Reed is like, and this is my friend Ben Grimm, best pilot out there. And he's like, best looking, he means. And then the TV shuts off, and it's like the thing there. Like, that was from the trailer. It was great. So then having, I can't remember her name, but having that lady friend that he goes to check up on.
Going to be a love interest.
Yeah. It's a big deal for him. And if that's all they wanted to show with his character, like, I think they got that part down. I personally wish he was in the movie just a little bit more, but you know. I think what's important overall with these four is that I think they nail the family aspect of it.
Yes.
Like, I buy their interactions between each other, and I think that's the most important thing. So I think they did what they set out to do.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like the purpose of the Thing, like he's like the steady, calm member of the group.
Yeah.
And everybody has their parts, but when you bring them together, it makes the perfect family.
Right. So with our heroes out of the way,
well, we got one more.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Let's go into our antagonists, Galactus and Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is played by Julia Gardner.
Amazing. Also, side note, I didn't realize this was the year of Julia Gardner.
Yeah.
She's in so many things.
Another big movie out this weekend at the time of recording for her, Weapons. Heard great things.
But I thought she did pretty good. I feel like screen time wise, I don't think we got a lot of Silver Surfer. Enough that we got her the important parts of her backstory. But yeah, I thought she did pretty good. I am curious what has happened to her since she blasted into the wormhole.
They announced a Fantastic Four 2. Not officially. I've heard there's a Fantastic Four 2 in development. So maybe we'll see her again. Fantastic Four 2 will be interesting for a variety of reasons, which we will talk about later. But I'm sure she'll be back. We'll see her again. She was a great part of this movie.
She has the iconic lines.
Yeah. Julia Gardner just killed it.
Just become a sound on TikTok.
Also, just the Silver Surfer as a character is just so very interesting because of their love of life, and Galactus taking that away is always just a big source of conflict within them. And again, I just think they did great in this movie, once again showing it off. I think they nailed writing her. Her speech is iconic, and Julia Gardner herself said it well when she was like, it is like a beautiful speech. Like, it is Silver Surfer heralding, but also telling them in a way that she's sorry for what's about to happen. And it's great writing.
She's trying to like give them a warning. But yeah,
Um,
I still think it's so funny. Before the movie came out, people were asking her, like reporters, like, "What does your suit look like?" And she's like, it's shiny." Like, what do you think it looks like? It's literally just silver.
she looks great too.
Yeah,
I
I really liked how they when they show like how she came to meet Galactus, like how she got the silver all over her. I appreciated that detail.
speaking of,
Galactus.
Galactus is our main antagonist, played here by Ralph Ineson.
I thought he did pretty good too.
He was good. I want to know how. I want to know how they filmed him specifically. Do you think he had scenes with them, or was he mostly like in a green screen?
I know that they, for his wide shots, they created mini cities and stuff.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
had mini
That's
sets
practical.
made for
Dope.
him. Yeah,
Good
almost
for.
all of his scenes, I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a fun detail that I appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have done it with scenes where there's other people talking to him.
Yeah, I don't know if they just like digitally altered him.
I feel
Or
like they
how
would
that
have been
worked.
there to like get the emotion.
The scene where he's revealed for the first time is a great moment visually. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he looks so good. Because they have, if you watch the main 3 trailers, Galactus has been pretty much hidden.
Yes.
I think in some of the TV spots, they started to kind of reveal his appearance a little bit more for those general audience members that aren't really aware of who Galactus is or whatever.
Yeah, they just show like a lot of shadows and like you can tell this is a big thing, but you don't really know. And then of course they release the popcorn bucket, and then you know exactly what his face looks like.
Yep. I also think Galactus is an interesting one, villain wise, because it's a version like it's a villain that doesn't really have like a motive like we've discussed it.
Yeah.
Kind of. He just kind of exists to destroy worlds.
Like
That's his thing.
he doesn't give off this like sinister vibe, or like even like I'm doing this for a personal reason, kind of like Thanos. Like he's just there and he's doing this. He kind of has no emotions.
Yeah. That's very true. We see very little emotion from him the whole time,
Like
actually.
it's kind of weird because like obviously I don't want him to eat the Fantastic Four's planet, but like at the same time I don't know that I hate Galactus. Like I think I want to know more. I want to know like why is he doing this?
Yeah, Galactus is cool. Yeah, well, I will probably talk about him a little bit later, again, for other reasons. But as for right now, I think that's all I really want to say about our core cast.
Yeah.
We will jump into Franklin now.
The baby.
I don't know who played Franklin, so that's kind of why I was holding off on that one. I'm not going to talk about performance because it's a child. It's a small baby that's sometimes CGI.
Yeah.
Um, But Franklin being introduced in the MCU is monumental for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've been excited since it became clear Sue was pregnant. Franklin is one of my favorite characters in the comics.
Which is interesting because I feel like you don't always like the characters that are like ultra powerful.
I think so. I like Franklin. I also like Wiccan a lot. And I think they're both very similar for different reasons. I like the all powerful in young people that don't really know how to control their powers,
Okay.
but then have to because they're so powerful that if they don't, like reality itself could be destroyed. I love that trope for some reason. So I do like I like Franklin. I like what he does Again, I'm only speaking of him through Secret Wars. That's all
Right.
I've seen him in, or read him in at this point.
I know nothing about Franklin. No lore. That baby, half CGI baby. I guess he did great. He's cute
Yeah.
most of the time.
I actually think it's a girl.
Well, Franklin's
I think I read that. I know, but I think he was played by a girl. Which doesn't matter at that age anyway.
I didn't hate the CGI. There were a couple of times. Like the face itself, it wasn't that weird for me. But the one time where it did bother me was when they're standing near Sue's dead body, and like Franklin is obviously like reaching down towards her, and so then like Reed is kind of like moves him down to her, and just the way like the baby started to like move on its own, and like the Reed was moving it, that was not natural. That it literally looked like Reed was holding like a sack and moved it to the right, and then suddenly that sack can move itself down. There's some weird there. It was quick, but I didn't like that one. Like you could tell they filmed that without a real baby, basically. Does it play into the plot at all? No. But
I totally missed that. I was just going to straight up say I didn't like the CGI in the baby. I thought it was pretty noticeable.
really? I didn't
Yep.
think it's that bad. I just kept thinking it looked like the Gerber baby.
I think I leaned over to the people on both sides of me and said, so that baby is not real, right? Because it looked bad. And I think it just annoys me because a lot of pretty much every other bit of CGI in this movie I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best CGI things Marvel has done in recent memory.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, at least when it comes to like Galactus, is because they used the mini
Yeah,
scenes.
probably.
But also, well, maybe it didn't bother me too much, the baby CGI, because I've seen a lot worse. Shout out Twilight. That was traumatizing.
Yep.
So I don't know. I do fully agree. They probably could have used a real baby with less CGI. But I am wondering if they maybe wanted, like obviously as we see Franklin, we don't actually see him like using powers or anything. He just seems like a normal baby until that moment at the end with Sue. But like maybe they're trying to like make it seem like his facial expressions were more than what a typical baby his age would be or something. I don't know. Like preparing us for like how fast he is going to grow. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know.
But I am excited for his role in the future of the MCU.
It's going to be good. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. I so hope.
I keep seeing a lot of people comparing like the Fantastic Four to the Incredibles. You know, baby Jack can do anything. Dash, super fast. Johnny, fast with fire. Elastigirl, Reed. Like it tracks.
Yeah, The Incredibles was a response to the Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense. I get annoyed when people compare The Incredibles to Fantastic Four, because that is technically that's different than comparing the Fantastic Four to The Incredibles. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like the Fantastic Four came first,
Yes.
so you cannot compare.
This is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
people are saying I can just go watch The Incredibles.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no, they're different.
sure you can.
Well, yeah, but it's different
like-
movie.
And is it a crime that it took Fantastic Four forever to get a movie this good? Yes. Yes, it is.
But I'd rather them take longer and have a good movie than have given us trash 2 years ago.
Yes, correct. And I think the problem is that they gave us trash for three straight attempts.
Yeah.
That
Just people just.
Yeah, like at the time, The Incredibles was the superior Fantastic Four movie. Like, as much as that pains me to say, that was it. I don't think that's the case anymore. Sorry, Incredibles. But
They also dropped the bomb with Incredibles 2, so.
yeah, that's true.
Fine.
We'll see what Fantastic Four 2 does. But yeah. Strangely enough, something that they both share is the guy that does the music, Michael Giacchino. Another thing I want to put in the good, besides the casting, which we just discussed ad nauseum, is the music.
I am 100% agreeing with you. Since the trailer came out, I was obsessed with the main theme. I am still obsessed with the main theme. I am figuring out how to make it my alarm clock
Yes,
noise.
perfect.
Specifically, the part where it's just like the bum, 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 in the beginning. Like to start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to wake up to a brass fanfare.
Not really. I'd rather it build up. But I also love the soundtrack score, especially the main theme. It gets stuck in my head all the time. Yeah, I have no notes for it, honestly.
Is it the best main theme in the MCU?
Okay, is it the best in the MCU? Recency bias wants me to say yes, and personal and all the bias wants me to say yes. So I'm gonna say yes.
I think it's the second best behind the Avengers, but
That's fair.
it's a really banger. Avengers wins from iconic for it's just it's iconic. Everyone knows what
Yeah.
that symbolizes. But the score as a whole works so well. The way he throws the Fantastic Four theme in so many times. The Silver Surfers theme music is great. Galactus' song is awesome. Michael Giacchino really cooked for this score.
Yeah, I also really like the addition. Like, there's multiple tracks. I feel like of voices, like I guess like a choir sort of. I think that really just made it like that much more epic feeling. I enjoyed it.
I love choir and soundtracks. I'll never forget when it was revealed that Loki season 1, episodes 4 through 6 were going to have choir in them. And I was like, Loki episodes 4 through 6 are going to be so insane because that's the only reason you would pull
edit that. Yeah.
in a choir. And I was right because it was insane. Yeah, so that's a good. Do you have another good you wanted to add on?
I want to talk about the visuals. The retro futuristic vibe is 100% one of my favorite. Just like in general, I love that style, and I think they pulled it off really well here. It fits in with like them being astronauts, so like it's like an homage to like real life when we first started going to the moon. But it's obviously like they have superpowers, so it's like futuristic, sci-fi. They just really nailed the retro futuristic thing. The only time I had an issue with it, and I understand maybe why they didn't, was when we were seeing like some of the zoomed out shots of New York City. Specifically, there's one, and obviously the focus of this scene is Galactus is like stepping down, like onto the city. And so they're just trying to show how, like, size-wise, how big he is. But that shot, the city itself did not look like, it looked like modern day.
I thought that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did not like that one time. It fully dropped the retro vibe to it. But everything else about it, loved it.
Yep. I wonder if Matt Shackman had anything to do with that. Like, was that his decision? Was it Marvel's? I want to give Matt Shackman his credit here because he did WandaVision as well, which also had a bunch of retro stuff. So anytime he's tapped to direct anything, I'm going to expect retro stuff now, and I'm going to be so excited for it. I think he kills. I don't know what else he's done that isn't superhero, but I think he's killed the superhero projects he's done up to this point. And I'm excited to see if they give him anything else. If I've heard that if they do a Fantastic Four 2, he would return to direct it. So he also directed some episodes of Game of Thrones. Isn't that interesting?
Well, that wasn't retro.
No, it was not. Unless it was.
Well,
The Spoils of War and Eastwatch. Interesting. Oh, and Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Dope. So yeah, I like him. I hope he comes back to do more Fantastic Four, or any Marvel stuff, actually, because I like his Marvel stuff up to this point. Any goods left, or anything you really didn't like? We can move on to like the bads.
I don't have a lot bad to say. I feel like any of my little issues, I feel like I mentioned. Yeah.
Nothing really bad. You have nothing bad at all, besides the little things we already mentioned.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you?
Besides the screen time breakup of the Fantastic Four, which I think could have been done better.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that, but I feel like we're going to see these characters again.
Yeah, I think the movie could have been 10 to 15 minutes longer. And I think that would have fixed all of my issues with pacing and timing. And although I think it's a slow movie, so that's a weird thing to say. When I mean pacing, I mean I don't mean pacing of the movie because it's slow. It probably could have been a little faster, in my opinion. It's a slow movie. It doesn't need to be fast, though.
That's fair, but it is the first time we're seeing these characters.
Correct.
There's a lot more to build.
Correct. I remember, though, talking afterwards about it, and someone in our group said that they thought it was too fast, and I thought that was an insane thing to say. Another negative for me, I think I would have liked to see their powers shown off just a little bit more.
I'd seen this comment online a bit of people wishing this as well. And I don't know that I fully agree because I feel like, in general, the superheroes that I like the most, I've noticed, are the ones that feel more human. And that's what the Fantastic Four felt like for me. Especially like they used to be just normal humans, you know? And so I kind of liked that they were normal. They go up to space, they come back to Earth, they have these powers, but like they're still normal. So I don't know that I needed to see more.
I think they still could have been normal and had one extra fight scene.
That's fair.
For example, the teaser trailer shows off a John Malkovich character that we heard through leaks that he would have played Red Ghost. And instead of having any scene with him in it, they just ended up throwing Pedro or Reed fighting one of his monkeys in that opening montage. And I feel like instead we could have had that full fight scene where they are fighting Red Ghost, or even the full fight scene of Giganto, the blob figure that was going through the city. Maybe instead of the montage, I would have preferred having a full opening
of them.
battle
Yeah, okay.
instead.
That's fair. I feel like they've done that in the past, though.
I think it's a good way to quickly establish where we are is to open your movie with a fight. It does happen a lot. Superman opened that exact way. So maybe they wanted to change up how they were doing. That's fine. It's just a negative for me, and it's nothing terrible. Like it's not. I'm not like this movie sucks because it wasn't. But I thought it was slow. But I like the slowness of it. But I think like one extra battle would have helped me through it. Um, that's probably it in terms of my negatives. As for things that I don't really care about, but maybe were a little negative, do you have any of those?
I feel like I mentioned them as I bring things up.
Okay. A big one I've just been sitting on is that like the plot is
Basic.
it's pretty basic. Um, but I went on record saying afterwards that I think the goal of this film was to introduce the characters and do character work and kind of ignore the plot a bit, which I feel like it did. So I don't think it had to be an off the walls crazy story. Like I think that's what your sequel is for. I think your goal, their goal was to introduce the characters, see how they work, and I
Yeah,
think they did that.
I fully agree with that. I don't think it needed to be like the craziest plot, especially like knowing where the future of Marvel is going and how we're gonna see these characters again. Um, we'll get some of those like more intricate plots then. And with this being like an intro, the focus was on introducing. So the villain plot being not simple, but like more common, simple, and like just kind of like then being kicked away, maybe to be seen again one day. I don't know. I was fine with it.
Yeah. Same. I was fine. Hence why it's going in the mid section. The other mid, I have two more mids. So
Okay.
if you think of any, let me know. I don't want to talk the whole time. Another mid I have is they're both towards the end of the movie. The Silver Surfer turn is super duper fast, but
Like how she feels.
it just the way they do it because like yes, what Johnny Storm does is the perfect way for her to flip. But then she just disappears, shows up for 5 seconds, pushes him out of the way, and then goes into the wormhole. And it was just like, that was, whoa,
Okay.
fast.
I will agree with you on this one. She disappeared. I don't know where she went. Was she just taking some me time? I don't know.
I think where I was going to go with this is I think, again, 10 to 15 minutes extra of this movie I think would have really worked. It would have been cool if we saw her maybe back to her planet and see how they're living without Galactus, and she kind of realizes, like,
Yeah.
my sacrifice is helping them live, but I have destroyed all these other people. Like, maybe a visualization of her coming to that, because I think what Johnny did made her realize it, but I don't think we as the audience saw that. Like she had her panic attack and then flew away just to later come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like what he was saying to her, I feel like he should have said it in like a moment where like she's like on the brink of doing something right then, and then like what he says changes her mind or something. I don't know.
Like at least what he says saves the final teleporter, which is super important for the movie to work. But her entire twist, I was just like, that was
Yeah.
crazy fast.
I
Crazy fast.
also feel like obviously we got backstory on her and everything, but like she still wasn't like a main focus in the movie. So I am curious like if or how they'll bring her back. in the future.
Yeah. But why this isn't a mid and not in my negatives is because if you fundamentally understand the character of Silver Surfer, you knew that she was going to end up betraying them, or betraying Galactus by the end of the movie. So I'm not like,
Yeah.
oh, it ruined the twist, because like maybe if you're a general audience that doesn't know anything about comics, maybe this is like a negative. I don't know. But like, I knew from the get-go, because it's just what Silver Surfer
Yeah.
does. So I don't think it didn't ruin the experience because I knew it was coming, but I do think it could have been executed better.
I will say, like, we talked about how the plot was like kind of like maybe generic or like simple. Even though it was like, there were definitely moments where like you knew what was gonna happen next, but like the tension was still there, like the everything else adding to it, like you still felt that. It didn't take away from that at all.
Yes.
Like the moment when Sue dies and they're like, is she dead? Like I already knew that baby was gonna bring her back to life. I didn't know how or whatever, but I knew. But like I still was like sort of on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, she died. Like I still felt that even though I knew.
That brings me to my third mid.
All right.
Unlike you, I hated the whole Sue death thing going on. Okay. The reason I like that Sue dies, it needs to happen because it doesn't. I don't think I would have bought that she alone, even with her, like, Mama Bear abilities, her alone stopping Galactus, and then she needed to die there, unless they've rethought how Galactus would have been beat. But I like the choice that Sue Storm protecting Franklin is the one that does it. It makes complete sense with her character, especially in this movie. And then it makes sense that she dies because she tapped into this power. Totally changing subjects real quick. It's the same reason, sorry everyone, that I buy Luke Skywalker dying in episode 8. Luke Skywalker does something that is well established, nobody else does. And then he dies afterwards because he uses all of his willpower to do it. Sorry, jumping back on point. I did not need to say that at all.
It's fine.
But I thought it was relevant. Anyway, so yes, she needs to die. My issue was that I didn't personally believe that she was dead at all. Because I knew, they're not going to kill the one of the members of the four in their first movie. That's something you can do ballsy later. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I knew she wasn't gonna stay dead, but like.
So then my annoyment with it was that I felt it just took too long for the baby to bring her back. I was just like, what are we doing? We're taking too long to get there. Just bring her back.
That's fair.
Also, remember those kids that laughed when she came back?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you don't know who that character is, I can tell. But it's a mid because, again, I try to think of it from a general audience perspective, especially one that maybe didn't watch the 5.5-hour live stream of them revealing who's in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
And Vanessa Kirby, of course, was on one of those chairs, so we all knew she was coming back.
Yeah.
Maybe general audiences who didn't watch that, maybe they did think that, maybe they were like, oh, this is bad. Maybe those kids did think that she was dead, which is why they laughed, because they don't know who Franklin is.
I don't think they were laughing for that. The one kid said, "I told you he was gonna bring her back."
Oh. I totally didn't hear that. I just heard them laughing, so I was confused.
No.
So, I'll give another positive that I wanted to talk about. I will give you credit because I do think tension was built in the black hole sequence that we didn't really actually touch on yet. This is another good to me. The moment where Sue is giving birth and the Silver Surfer is running after them, and they're in the black hole and they're shooting around it and they're trying to shoot her and she's getting back on her. That whole sequence is phenomenal, and it built so much tension, even though I knew none of that, like, they were fine. They were going to get out of that. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, that was a version where I was genuinely excited, on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, yeah. Also, the entire moment leading up to her death, where she's like literally using all of her energy and power to stop. Like that tension was very.
Yes, that's another good example of it.
Yeah.
So yes, it does do it. I just don't think it did it in that particular moment. But I don't hate that that's how they chose to do it. So it's not a bad. It's just like, eh. So that was my mids
All right.
and my final good. And we didn't have a lot of bads, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about before we move on to our final verdict?
I think so.
All right. Final verdict. How do you feel?
Great. I love this movie. It checked so many boxes for me. I liked it so much immediately after watching it that I gave it a 5. I have since thought about it more. Realized that 5 was extremely biased. Just based off of like the visuals and the sound. And it is now a 4.5.
4.5. That's not a bad score. I will take that score. Can I just ask, do you know where this kind of might rank in your total opinion of the MCU?
Not the total opinion of the MCU. I don't know. I am working on a list, but it obviously will take some time. I do have it. I have it behind Thunderbolts currently.
I do too, if that helps.
Okay, all right.
If that makes you feel
But
better.
Thunderbolts is another movie that, like, I know I have personal bias towards, so I don't want that to, like, overshadow the movie itself.
I mean, your score is your score. You know
That's
what I mean?
fair, yeah.
Like, I think whenever you think of movies as a whole, like, there are things that are going to speak to you more than other people that are going to influence your score. Like, I think we all feel that. So I think it's okay to say
Okay.
you like this one a little bit more because of the vibe. I do that a ton. There are certain vibes that stand out to me, and I always like those movies better. Like,
All right, well, okay. It's right behind Thunderbolts for me.
right behind.
Currently, yes.
Okay. All right. Just checking. As for me, I do think it's quite good, as I think I've made quite clear in my ranting about it. I also do think Thunderbolts is better. For me, the plot being pretty generic does bring it down just a fair bit. Even though it doesn't need to be, it's still, it's like... But everything else is so good that it doesn't really impact it that much, which is why I feel comfortable lowering a bit. It evens it out. For me, it is a 4, which is exactly the same I gave Superman. We should do this because it's inevitable. Superman and Fantastic Four come out in the same month. They're obviously going to be compared. For me, I did prefer Superman after thinking on it. Again, very similar to you, I came out and I did say I liked Fantastic Four better. But now that I've thought on it a little bit, I do think Superman is the overall better movie. But I think they're close. I think they're really close. And I gave them both 4s.
See, I gave Superman a 4.
I mean, if you don't agree Superman is a better movie, that's okay.
They're very close. I'll say that, very close. But style-wise and sound are a little better for me in Fantastic Four.
Okay, that's fair. For me, I think, speaking on kind of what I think I ultimately felt more when I watched Superman, and I still feel more while listening to Superman, like soundtrack and stuff like that. Whereas when I listen to the Fantastic Four soundtrack, I'm like, this is fun. But with Superman, I'm still filled with the feelings I felt while watching it. So I do have to give the leg up to Superman. But this is not the Superman episode. This is the Fantastic Four episode. I think Fantastic Four is a great movie. I would encourage you, if you have not, to go watch it in theaters. I'm a little surprised it's not making a ton of money. But the Fantastic Four is, they've had some rough goes. So, general audience, it makes sense if you don't want to be hurt again. I don't think you'll get hurt watching this movie. As for me, Fantastic Four is probably outside my top 10. But
Really?
yeah, of the MCU. Do I know what my top 10 would be? No. So I can't say that with full confidence.
See, I would probably guess it would be in my top 10. But it had a lot of things that I liked.
That's fair. I also, I really loved the vibe too. So you gave it a 4.5, I gave it a 4. Nice average score of 4.25 out of 5. That's a good movie. Any last thoughts before we move on?
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It is good. You will not waste your time. I assure you. So, as is the case with the other Marvel movies, we have more Marvel lore. So, we figured we would take the rest of our time to kind of discuss where we think the MCU is going based on the stuff that we got in this movie. Something we didn't talk about at all was the post-credit scene. So we can talk about that now because that's important to how it ties in. Do you want to explain the post-credit scene?
Yes. Post-credit screen, first off, was spoiled to me by the internet. Thank you, internet. If you want to post spoilers on the internet, all you gotta do, slide before it, just say spoilers.
You can blame me. Blame me. Because we didn't see it right away because I was out. Just
all right, I'm gonna blame you.
Yep. Everyone else did. So. Everyone else that had spoiled. Everyone in the entire world.
Become a bad habit of us watching Marvel movies late.
Yeah.
We need to make these priorities.
I agree.
All right.
Just don't release them while I'm on vacation.
There's literally one this time of year every single year. There's always a Marvel movie that comes out around my birthday.
Yeah, but next year it's not the day I'm gone. It's the week after.
How? It's the 26th, isn't it?
Nope. Brand New Day comes out July 31st.
31st. Did it used to be the 26th?
Nope.
Is the Odyssey the 26th?
Nope.
What's
the Odyssey is the 18th.
Something's the 26th.
It's probably Supergirl, because Supergirl also comes out in July.
Okay.
It might come out in August now. Give me a second. Sorry, keep going.
It's not important. But yeah, post-credit scene was spoiled to me twice. First off, I was just reading something that looked like
Supergirl comes out June 26th.
June. Okay. I was just reading something that looked like it was from the comic books or something, so I thought it was just going to be a theory. And so I was reading it, and then in it said from the post-credits scene, and I'm like, are you serious? So I just stopped reading. And then I came across another thing that looked like a post-credit scene, And I was like, no. And I went into the comments to just see what people were saying. And everybody was saying that it was an AI created scene. So I watched it. And it looked similar to what I had read first. So I was like, whatever.
That one feels like it's on you.
That's fine. The post-credit scene is also very short, so like it's not like you could just see a bit of it and then not miss and like skip it. But
it is not the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. That is for sure.
And then we watch it in the theater, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing I watched. I don't think that was AI. Like I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. But post-credit scene, we see Franklin a bit older. Would have been 4 years.
4 years jump.
It says there's a 4-year time jump. We see Franklin, and we see Sue, and she's reading books to him. She gets up to go get some more books, and when she comes back, there's a man talking to Franklin in their living room. We don't see the man's face. We just kind of see like from his back profile, but he's wearing a green hood and he's holding a silver mask in his hand. It is Dr. Doom.
He's here.
Dun dun dun.
He's arrived. Or, as the people behind us in the theater said, Dr. Evil. Yeah, so we finally have Dr. Doom. We can confirm some things from Matt Shackman, who said he did not direct that post-credit scene. The Russos did. And he also said that he knows that was Robert Downey Jr. on that set, which leads me to believe we will see this scene again. It probably is a part of Doomsday, just like the Thunderbolts one is. So we now have some more bits. I also happen to personally believe that that's not the full scene.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
I think most people do. I think they cut it there very specifically because they probably didn't want to show him to pay him. But
oh yeah, I heard that as well. It would have cost like so much more if they had.
So with this information, how we've theorized once before on this show. How have things changed after the release of Fantastic Four and the post-credit scene? I can tell you a big one.
Okay.
So I think Marvel Studios played us all, and they played us all so it was great, actually. I'm not even mad. Because I think everyone in the world thought the Fantastic Four were going to lose in this movie.
Oh, yes, this theory.
I thought everyone thought that they were going to lose. They did not lose. They won.
Yeah.
They're still on their Earth at the end of the movie.
Remind people of what your original theory was.
Well, it's not just I will get there. It wasn't just my theory. It was a lot of people's theories.
Yeah, but you were really sold on it.
Yes. Because, also, are you going to sit here and tell me you didn't think the Fantastic Four was going to lose this movie?
I saw something else that made me think that your original theory was not true.
I'm not talking about my original theory right now. Did you think the Fantastic Four was going to lose in this movie?
I don't know. I knew Franklin wasn't going to die, or he wasn't going to get him.
Get who?
That Galactus wasn't going to get Franklin.
Oh. Yeah, I could have told you that. I think based on the Thunderbolts end credits of the spaceship coming down, because my original theory was that I thought Franklin was in there. Mm-hmm. Right?
So you assumed that Galactus would be attacking the planet, and in a last-ditch effort, they would send Franklin away to save him.
Correct. But I think a lot of people thought that it was just the Fantastic Four on that spaceship that were coming because Galactus still destroyed their planet. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people thought that either way Galactus was eating this planet.
That's fair. The only thing that did deter me was once Fantastic Four, the movie, started marketing, and we got a view more of the logos, like on their suits and stuff. The 4 on their suits is not the same 4 that is on the spaceship. The design is a little bit different.
Yep.
So that's when I knew it was not like there's at least going to be a time jump.
The internet sleuths that figured that out, good for them, because I don't have time to look at 2 different 4s and figure out whether or not they're the same. However, that being said, so yes, I was a little off. We all were a little off. I'm not saying I'm wrong. That could still just be Franklin.
True.
That could be Doom and Franklin.
Who knows?
Because we know 4 years have passed. And we know that Doom, at some point, is hanging out with Franklin in Doomsday. It could be that. I don't think it is. I do think at this point that will be the Fantastic Four coming to Earth to let them know that I'm going to assume Doom has kidnapped Franklin.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume Doom has kidnapped Franklin because he is looking for Franklin in the same way that Galactus was, because he realizes that Franklin is powerful.
I am curious, just a little bit that I have looked up from the comics, about like the relationship between Doom and the Fantastic Four. Like in the movie itself, until that end credit scene, there is nothing. The only minor reference to Doom is when there's like a United Nations meeting or whatever, and they show the country where Doom.
Latveria.
Yeah, and they don't have anybody there. They're not on the council.
It is interesting because of Doom's typical origin story, which involves him going up in space with them, but he is notably absent from all of the Fantastic Four marketing and stories and documentaries that we saw throughout this movie.
Yeah, like not even in that montage was there
Right.
a little side glimpse in the background or something.
So,
like I'm almost wondering if in this version he does go up.
right, because I am beginning to think, even though they've told us otherwise, I am beginning to think that this Doctor Doom might be a Tony Stark variant.
I have heard a really good theory about this.
Okay, you can go first.
In every other timeline, Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, and it's only in our timeline where he becomes Tony Stark Iron Man, and that's why he's one of the, what does the TVA call it when?
Anchor beings.
Yeah, he's an anchor being because this is the only timeline where he's good. Although I do still, I know it's not going to be true. I do still wouldn't hate Marvel casting a big actor as a character and like saying that, and then surprise it's actually this even bigger actor. It's just as a front, but it's not going to be that.
Actually, I don't hate that theory if they do say that Tony Stark is evil in all of them. I think fundamentally, I don't like the idea of Doctor Doom being an Iron Man variant.
But I think it's the opposite. I think Iron Man is a Doom variant.
I don't like the idea of Tony Stark being Doctor Doom in any timeline.
And I was, some people were going back to, I don't know if it was I think it was Endgame, yeah. And saying how because Tony Stark was adopted, and how the parents, when Tony goes back in time or whatever and sees his dad, I think, and it's like his birthday, or like or something. I can't remember if it's his birthday or like it was when he was being born or something, I can't remember, but Tony looks confused. And they don't fully address it, but people are saying it's because it didn't match up with his birthday. So they're saying that the Starks they had a child, but that child died, and that was supposed to be Doom. That was another one. I don't know.
That one seems far-fetched for me. Is Tony Stark adopted?
I don't know. That's what.
No. Who said that?
I can pull up the theory.
Like, I was listening and I was like, uh-huh. And then I was like, I don't think Tony Stark was adopted.
I could be reciting it wrong. I probably am, because I saw this one like a bit ago. But
in the MCU.
What?
Oh.
Is he adopted?
Oh, no. See, this is a theory. This is not real.
What? Can you speak words?
So, if you Google it, apparently it came from Avengers Endgame that people think Tony Stark was adopted. However, the director said no.
Oh. Well.
Because in the comics, he's adopted.
Mm. All right. Well, this theory was like pulling at things from that flashback to Endgame, and like it was proving how Tony Stark didn't become Doctor Doom in this timeline, and why he became Iron Man instead, and then that led to him being an anchor being. Yeah. Which I totally see. I'm not against that idea that in every other timeline, Tony Stark is Doom. Like, I don't hate this recast. Like, I know when it first came out, I was like, are we just still trying to get the hype of, like,
Yes.
Iron Man fans?
Yes, we are.
Fair.
And we will continue to.
That's fair. But if they can make it make sense, especially if they can tie it, because I feel like that's what the old Marvel used to do so well, was tie things back to, like, really old movies that, like, you didn't think was, like, a big detail, but, like, to be like, that makes so much sense. If they can do that here, I will fully support it. Like, I'm waiting. My mind hasn't been blown by Marvel in a while, and I want it to be.
It all depends on execution, obviously. If Doctor Doom's real name is Tony Stark in any version of the world, I will be upset. I'm sorry. It should be Victor Von Doom. I want the real version of the character, and I get what you're saying, that this would still be a real version of it. It would just, I get what you're saying. I'm hesitant to be like, yeah, that sounds cool, because
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's been versions of multiverse characters who don't have the exact same name, but still end up being like the same thing. So
in the comics, Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark are like not even close to being the same character. So I'm just hesitant. I'm still hesitant with this idea that like they're gonna be connected in this version.
That's fair. And if it's not like, if they can't make it like connect dots in some mind-blowing way, I think it's a waste. It didn't need to happen.
Right. Go ahead.
No, just that if they can, I think it will be epic.
I'm still on the fence about whether or not Robert Downey Jr. will even be Doom after Doomsday.
Like you think he's just a variant?
Well, like, I just wonder if that's a cover, like, kind of what you said.
Oh,
I wonder if it's a
yeah.
cover up for, like, they're just getting someone else.
Well, I thought that until it was confirmed that it was him in the post-credit scene.
Yeah, but that's Doomsday. I'm saying, like, could Secret Wars have a different real Doom? I think that would be confusing as heck for the general audience, so they probably won't go that way.
And especially if it's just supposed to be like Robert Downey Jr.'s version is a variant, then it's 100% they only included him for fans and money,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's not good.
My issue stems from where I think, I mean, I don't really know. Marvel hasn't given us a lot. This is the other point I wanted to get to. So hold that thought for just a moment. Marvel hasn't told us a lot about where we're ultimately going after Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like, all we have a bunch of TV shows confirmed, but they all end this year with the exception of Daredevil season 2, which comes out next year. And then we have Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then the next project is Doomsday. And then we wait a year. We have no idea what's happening between Doomsday and Secret Wars. If anything, they might choose to wait a year. Something tells me they won't do that. Just have a theory or a feeling. So the fact that we haven't been told anything is interesting to me, who likes to kind of know where the MCU is going. But something, so then even after Secret Wars, we really don't know what's coming. Like, there's been rumors of an X-Men movie that apparently has the director of Thunderbolts tapped. None of that has been officially announced or confirmed by Kevin Feige yet. So they're holding on to it. So my whole question is, where does Doom go after Secret Wars? Doctor Doom is too big of a Marvel character for him to be done after Secret Wars. So the question becomes, is Robert Downey Jr. sticking around after Secret Wars and being Doctor Doom for how many years we decide to have Doctor Doom in the MCU? Or does the end of Secret Wars wipe that version of Doctor Doom away, and then we ultimately get another one, which again I think would be confusing. That's what I can't figure out what they're thinking about behind the scenes. They have to be having this conversation.
Unless if to follow your idea, then whoever this new Doom is, they don't jump right into it. They just kind of like throw in some Easter eggs for a few movies and build up to it.
Yep.
Maybe that would be less confusing.
I think it's important to note that there are a few times where Doom was supposed to be referenced that they've cut. Wakanda Forever was supposed to end with a Doom post-credit scene that they removed from the movie.
Obviously.
So I think it is clear that they don't want, or they didn't at the time want a 616 Doctor Doom. Recent reports have suggested that the Doom that will be in Doomsday is from Earth 828, which would make the most sense, and I don't think was very surprising.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the first, they're in 828 when he first appears. He has a connection to the Fantastic Four, so he should be from 828 at this point. I think it would have been weird if he was just in 616 without a Fantastic Four. Because even though he's now viewed as like a big Marvel villain, he started as a Fantastic Four villain, right? So I would not be mad if 828 version of Doom came over to 616, the Sacred Timeline. Secret Wars happens, they rebuild the universe, and then he just stays on the Sacred Timeline if that's how they choose to do it. I just need to know if they plan on having Robert Downey Jr. being him in the future. Or if maybe, because I've also gone on records to say, we're not really theorizing, I'm just like throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks. I've gone on record explaining that I believe Secret Wars, Kevin Feige has said as much, that the end of Secret Wars will serve as a reboot for certain characters. So some characters are probably going to be recast. Some characters are going to die and probably never come back. Some characters might be reborn that have already died. So if they choose to have Robert Downey Jr. as Doom all the way through Secret Wars, and then maybe we at the rebuild we recast him, we could go that route. I feel like it would just be weird.
I would be okay with it. I just feel like there has to be something epic with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom.
Yeah. Like, just imagine at the end of Secret Wars when, presumably, the universe explodes. Mm-hmm. Basing this solely off of the Secret Wars comics, the universe is reborn. So imagine we have Doctor Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., the whole time. And then at the end of the movie, the big reveal is he takes off his mask and all of a sudden he's Cillian Murphy. Would that not be confusing?
It would if it was done that way. Would I be mad about Cillian Murphy being in the MCU? Not at all.
It was purely hypothetical, but I feel like it would be, and then it just cuts to black and the credits roll. Like, that would be weird. It would be weird.
Yeah.
They could maybe do it another way, but
Well, I think we just have to trust in Marvel right now. I know that's hard to do, but they've been giving us some good
I was going to
stuff.
say, in their defense, ever since they've decided to refocus on quality over quantity, I think we've had two pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Two movies.
There's a noticeably increase in the quality.
People are going to point at Ironheart, but Ironheart was very clearly a product of the previous. It's very clear. It is so clearly an old MCU TV show.
Yeah.
We've also spoke. We have yet to see Eyes of Wakanda, so that'll be something that's
I've heard
quality
good
over
things.
quantity. I've also heard good things.
It's also animated, so
Yeah,
that'll be
I knew that
intriguing.
as well. Yeah. So we'll see. Kevin Feige has kind of said, well, Rebecca Romaine said it, that they haven't finished the script for Doomsday, which a lot of people are freaking out about.
Because I think they're trying to do that real good Marvel stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Make those minute detail connections so you don't. I want them to blow my mind so badly, Ian.
Mm-hmm. I also think a lot of people that are concerned don't realize that this is kind of what Marvel has been doing.
Yeah, it's like the same people that are like, oh my god, they have to do reshoots. They always do reshoots. Every single movie does reshoots.
Mm-hmm. Not to the extent Marvel does, to be fair to
That's
those
fair,
people.
but Marvel also has to really worry about plot leakers.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if we gave theories, but we definitely kind of just talked about Marvel in the future and where we think it's going. All I'll say is that by this point, I know Doomsday is the first movie, but we have pretty much all of the pieces of Secret Wars that are in the comics. The Secret Wars comics, we have all the pieces that exist in that comic in the MCU where we are right now, with the exception of like 3 characters that are missing, and one of them we will never get. One of them,
The X-Men are in Secret Wars.
they're one of the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Not the ones we won't get. We will not get Miles Morales. Miles Morales is in Secret Wars. He's off the table.
Yeah, Sony.
They made that very clear.
Sony's last leg they have to stand on.
Yeah. What I found interesting, though, is that they said that they can't use them until the animated movie finishes. So they're not saying they will never use them. So we might see Miles Morales in the MCU. Might.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and then they'll just keep pushing and pushing that movie
Yeah,
release.
for sure. No, they better not, actually. 2027 is what I need. I need that movie to come out. Cyclops has the Phoenix Force in Secret Wars, so that's another one that is interesting. We have a Cyclops. He's confirmed.
But he's not like been confirmed in the MCU before.
Yeah, but he's confirmed for Doomsday. Do I still think?
No, the actor is confirmed.
Yeah, but he'll be playing Cyclops. Let's be real.
Plot twist: he's Professor X.
No, God no. It's still very possible that all the X-Men die in Doomsday, of which Secret Wars then what happens. I'm still not entirely unconvinced we won't have new X-Men by that point. So maybe some of the new X-Men pop up in Secret Wars to kind of introduce them.
I feel like they have to.
They have to.
The younger ones.
Yeah, which leads into, I guess, my ultimate final theory, which isn't really that hard. I don't think it's that crazy of a theory because it builds off of pretty much everything Kevin Feige has said up to this point about Secret Wars, which, by the way, they're not working on yet, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they haven't finished Doomsday.
Yeah, but again, Infinity War and Endgame were filmed practically at the same time.
Oh, that's fair.
I genuinely think they're just filming Doomsday right now. So Secret Wars, I would not be surprised if it gets pushed.
These are going to be long movies.
There's my theory. There's my second main theory. Secret Wars is getting pushed.
It's going to be more than a year after Doomsday?
Yes.
Do you think Doomsday will get pushed again?
No.
I also don't, because if they're going to push it, they would have to push it to the next July, because movies don't do well at the beginning of the year.
Exactly.
And I feel like that'd be too long.
Agreed. So Doomsday will not be pushed. It'll release December 18th, whatever cut it has, it'll be released. Secret Wars will be pushed, I think, because they're going to make sure they have certain characters cast already. X-Men.
And because they currently don't have anything lined up to release, I feel like they are going to release something, though. That could also cause it to be pushed if it has something that will tie in.
Mm-hmm. Theory number 3. There will be at least 2 movies that release between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
What about what?
I don't know.
Movies or shows?
Movies.
Do you think any shows?
Yes. I think the timeline is going to get a little wonky around there because I do personally believe that any shows that happen will for sure take place before Doomsday. Let me put it this way. Doomsday and Secret Wars, while being 2 separate movies, I think are going to feel like a part 1 and a part 2.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Whatever happens in between them, I feel like it has to be something that is either not like fully related, whether that's introducing somebody new or like a side story for somebody we have only been introduced to a little bit, maybe, to where that story doesn't fully integrate like into those movies.
Yep.
Or doesn't matter as much.
Yep.
It's really just like a placeholder.
Right.
To satisfy us while we wait.
Right. Now that I'm thinking on it, 2 might be too many. 2 movies might be too many.
I think it'll be one.
One movie.
Maybe a couple shows.
I'll say at least 2 projects release. How about that?
2 projects.
Vision Quest officially wrapped earlier this week. That again. So this is a crazy one. That's wrapped. Nobody's talked about it. It hasn't officially been announced.
Yeah.
Think about it. Kevin Feige has said nothing about it.
We knew
publicly.
it was happening, though.
They never announced it.
But we knew. They casted the kid.
Yeah, but not publicly.
Then how do we know?
Because leakers exist.
Oh.
Like, Kevin Feige has not stood on a stage and introduced the cast of Vision Quest, nor has he even said on a stage that Vision Quest exists. But they're done. They filmed it all in secret.
Oh, we knew it was all happening.
We knew.
All right.
I don't think general audiences are, like,
Okay,
I don't
that's
think
fair.
general audiences is aware.
All right.
I don't even. There are people in the world that only watch those events and don't listen to leakers. There's a shot they don't even know Vision Quest
How do
is
they even
existing,
exist?
right? So
Well, that's definitely coming out between.
yeah, I think like the writing's on the wall with that one because we got WandaVision and then Agatha,
If not before, honestly.
and like that's clearly
I could see that coming out
it
before.
won't be before.
Because what do we have next?
The shows, although we have until next year. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking it was coming out this year, but it's not.
That'd be crazy. It's not done.
Yeah, that would. Whew. Because the shows next year, as far as I recall, Daredevil season 2 is in May
Yep.
or March. I think March.
I think it's March.
And then we have Brand New Day, which is a movie. And then we have the Punisher special, which hasn't been announced yet, but they're filming. I genuinely think that's it for next year. That's been
Yeah, because they canceled whatever the February movie that usually releases is.
mm-hmm.
So if Daredevil is not in March, I wouldn't be surprised if they release something then, like a show.
As far as non-MCU things, like yes, MCU, but like not Sacred Timeline things. X-Men 97 is coming out next year.
Oh.
And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I also believe, has one coming out next year.
Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if that's early next year, because that was early this year.
Because most of the shows are actually over. Because Marvel Zombies comes out October 3rd. Wonder Man comes out in December.
Oh, that's right. All right. Then I would say Vision Quest between Doomsday and Secret Wars. That would make sense to me. Another thing that I've been reading about, some lore, is the lore of Doctor Doom and Agatha. I didn't know that was a thing.
I also didn't know that was a thing.
They have like
You're blowing my mind right now.
Does the internet say it's true?
Oh, there it is.
And I was like, oh, I'd be so ready for some more Agatha.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be funny.
I feel like it would be like a tie-in that people don't like immediately see coming.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, yeah, Doomsday's going to be great. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I think kind of on that topic, I think it will be fun to see the characters interact with characters we haven't seen them interact with yet, because it'll probably end up being a flaw, but one thing we'll know for certain is that Avengers Doomsday will have all these characters that genuinely we will not. The Avengers will be formed by the time the movie begins.
Yep.
We know that.
Whichever Avengers that is.
So, like, Shang-Chi, we're going to see him interact with these characters for the first time.
The new Avengers were the ones in the tower in the post-credit scene. So, like.
Yeah, but they're the new Avengers. I'm talking about the Avengers.
Are they still going to call themselves the Avengers? The other side?
Yeah, it's copy. Sam got the copyright for it.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point of the post-credit scene. So that they need a new name. So, here's my, I never even finished my ultimate theory, but that's okay. I was thinking about it. I will give you a project that I'm confident will occur between the two movies.
Okay.
Doctor Strange 3.
Really?
Yes. Especially, hear me out, he was notably absent from the chair thing, which we still have people to go. Kevin Feige said there's still people.
So many people to go.
If he is not confirmed to appear in Avengers Doomsday, then it's the perfect opportunity to bring him into the fold for Secret Wars because he needs to be. He's part of that story.
Oh, you don't think he's going to be in Doomsday at all?
If he is not, is what I'm saying,
Then he would have a movie between.
then he would need to have a movie.
At what point are they going to bring up Wanda?
Wanda probably won't be in anything. I know.
She's not dead, Ian.
It pains me to say it. I don't think she's dead.
I watched that movie and didn't think she was dead.
I also didn't.
And
think
then
she was
everybody's
dead.
like, she's dead. And I'm like, what?
And Marvel themselves said she's dead.
They're lying.
That's the problem.
She's not dead.
If anything, she'll be in Secret Wars. I don't think she's coming in Doomsday. She'll be in Secret Wars. And then she'll be recast at the end. Because they need to rework her back into the mutant
Yeah.
situation. When
That would
mutants
actually
come
make
back.
sense. Yeah.
So, which is a shame. Because I love Elizabeth Olsen's version of this character.
But I think at the same time, what will be weird is they're also going to do, I think they're going to do the Young Avengers. Is that scrapped? Or is that part of the Young?
Maybe. I've heard a lot of things going on.
Because I do see it would be weird if we have like the Young Avengers here and then we have the X-Men here who are young. But like this one is supposed to be the uncle of this one, but they're like the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we're in a multiverse situation, I still.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. But I don't know. We're doing Young Avengers. Oh, they're going to be called the Champions in the MCU. FYI.
Or maybe there'll be a TV show, and because they said their TV shows now aren't gonna like tie in as much.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I think, where I was going was I heard Vision Quest is going to have them.
The Young Avengers.
Yeah. And then I also heard that Vision Quest is going to be Armor Wars.
Oh.
Which was announced, but I think they scrapped it silently. So Vision Quest sounds kind of like a mess. So I'm intrigued to see what it ultimately ends up being.
Well, they filmed it fast. They filmed it in less than a year.
I think it's been 2.
When did Agatha come out? Last year.
Yeah, but they were filming before.
Before then, oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Could be totally wrong. But I think I've been hearing scoops since before Agatha. At least, maybe they haven't been filming. They've been working on it for at least 2 years. So.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Thank you all for joining in on this week's episode of Post Credits Commentary.
If you have any crazy Marvel theories, let us know.
I was just about to say that.
I want those theories.
Yeah. Maybe we'll feature you on the episode.
Or maybe we'll like totally destroy your theory.
Yeah. I'll be like, that's stupid, and here's why. Although I have some stupid theories myself. So, theories are theories. They're just meant to be fun, you know? With all that said, let us know what you thought of the flow of this week's episode. How did you think the Fantastic Four review went? Keep your thoughts down below in the comments. And we're back on schedule now, so we will see you next week.
Bye.